You ever get that feeling that your social media feed is, I don't know, working against you? Like you're not the customer, you're the product being sold? Well, today, we're diving into a project that wants to tear that entire system down and just start over. It's called WEB4 DELTA, and its goal isn't just to build another app, it's to forge a completely new future for how we all connect online. Right off the bat, their mission statement does not pull any punches. They're not talking about little tweaks or adding a few new features. Their goal, straight up, is to completely dismantle the social media structures we've all been using for the last 20 years and build something fundamentally different. So yeah, this isn't a redesign, they're aiming for a full-on revolution.
So why such a radical change? Well, it all comes down to a feeling that I think a lot of us share. Our data isn't really ours, these secret algorithms are basically dictating our reality, and real, genuine innovation just feels stuck. WEB4 DELTA is positioning itself as the answer to all of this, a movement to reclaim a social web that feels like it's lost its way.
Okay, so what is WEB4 DELTA exactly? The best way to think about it is as the advanced research lab for the next version of the internet. It's this dedicated space where the most daring, the most out-there ideas for social interaction are getting built and tested at breakneck speed, far away from the constraints of today's tech giants.
And at the absolute heart of this whole project is something they call the Delta Lab, or the Forge of Innovation. And that's a perfect name for it, because this isn't just a think tank, it's a workshop, a place where new tech and decentralized principles are being hammered into the shape of what could become the social networks of the future.
The whole point of the Delta Lab is to be an engine for radical ideas. I mean, it is specifically designed to test the crazy features, the stuff that mainstream platforms, with their huge corporate structures and fear of risk, would just never, ever try.
And everything built inside this forge is guided by 4 core principles. Let's break these down real quick. First up, sovereignty. You own and control your data, period. Non-negotiable. Second, an open source foundation, which means transparency. Anyone can look at the code. Third is modular evolution. This means successful ideas don't just stay in one place, they can be adopted and scaled across the whole ecosystem. And finally, experimental freedom. This is the big one. It's the freedom to try, fail, and learn super fast, which is the real engine of innovation.
This slide really just lays it all out, doesn't it? A tale of two webs. On the one hand, you have the web we have now. Platforms control your data, innovation is painfully slow, and secret algorithms decide what you see. But on the other hand, you have the WEB4 DELTA vision. You own your data. Innovation is fast and constant, and you actually get to choose your algorithms. It's a fundamental power shift, moving that power right back to the user.
Now, this isn't just some abstract philosophy. There's a very concrete plan of action. And that brings us to their most ambitious project yet, the 2026 Innovation Cycle. The goal is simple, but kind of staggering. 12 months, 12 brand new social networks.
Yeah? Just let that number sink in for a minute. Not one new app. 12 distinct experimental social networks, one launching every single month of 2026. The pace, the scale of this, it's designed to be a shock to the system, to accelerate social media's evolution at a rate we have just never seen before.
And this whole cycle follows a pretty clear roadmap. The year kicks off in Q1 with immersive and goal-oriented networks. From there, it moves into what they call the Great Expansion, which is all about directly challenging the existing social media giants. The year then culminates in Q4 with the launch of totally new social paradigms, things we maybe haven't even thought of yet.
So kicking things off is Project Frame. Okay, imagine a social feed that isn't that endless vertical scroll we all know, but is instead a story-driven interactive journey that actually changes as you engage with it. It's a total reimagining of that core social media experience.
Right after that comes Project Ascendia, which basically turns social media into a powerful tool for getting things done. This is a network designed for groups to organize around real-world goals with stuff like project management and milestone tracking built right in. You could think of it as social media for collective action.
And then March brings Project GenPix, an AI-native platform. Here, the whole act of creating content gets turned on its head. Users can actually generate, stream, and remix video in real time using built-in AI models. We're talking way beyond simple filters here, and into a whole new era of generative social media. So after this first creative burst, the focus shifts to taking on the giants. They plan to launch alternatives to platforms like X, YouTube, and TikTok, but rebuilt from the ground up on their principles. This means things like direct monetization for creators, no middleman, algorithms that you choose, and advanced encryption for truly private, self-deleting messages.
So what's the end game for all these experiments? Are they just cool concepts that will disappear after a month? Not at all. There's a really clear pathway for the best of these ideas to become sustainable products. It's a concept they call the future is a service.
And this innovation pipeline is how they plan to turn radical ideas into real-world tools. It starts with an experiment, one of those crazy ideas, in the lab. If it works, if people like it, it gets evolved and refined. From there, it can graduate into a polished premium network. And finally, it gets launched as a service for whole communities to adopt and build on.
And this all leads to their ultimate business model, social network as a service, or SNAS. This means successful Delta networks become platforms that anyone, creators, brands, online communities, can use to launch their own fully branded, independent social space. The point is, you get to own your digital home, not just rent a little space in someone else's.
When you really boil it all down, this is what WEB4 DELTA is about. It's not just a bunch of new apps or some clever business model. At its absolute core, this is a movement designed to take control of the social web away from those big centralized platforms and put it back where it belongs, in the hands of the users.
Which, of course, leaves us with one last, pretty provocative thought. With a vision this bold and a plan this aggressive, you have to wonder, if WEB4 DELTA actually succeeds, are we watching the beginning of the end for social media as we've known it?